Howdy there, folks! How are y'all doing? My name is Rees. Merry Christmas to you all, and welcome back to our Tekkit 2 Let's Play Adventure Extravaganza. Now, I do want to let you know that at the end of today's video, we're going to have some behind-the-scenes sort of discussions that are going to be taking place right here where I am, just zoomed in on my head like it currently is. We're going to discuss the lighting situation. I know it wasn't great in the last video, and it's not going to be great in this one. We're also going to discuss a real-life Tekkit thing that I did, which was fun, and is what prevented me from being able to take a shower until after this video was recorded. I'll explain why at the end of the video. I was going to do the whole thing now, but then I thought, you know what, even though there's timestamps and you could just skip all this, I'm not going to make you do that. Just at the end of the video, take about 10 minutes to discuss it all, okay? But for now, I want to focus on a couple of things today specifically. I want to build all of this. I want to build these blazing electron tubes, these golden electron tubes, these intricate circuit boards and soldering irons. But I also want to correct something that I did wrong in the last video. We literally read that you can get a bunch of different queens if you have a common queen as your starting point. And then we read that you get the common queen by breeding together the meadows and the other one that is very common. Please be that one, forest. And then we just didn't do that? We might have done it once. I just remembered I was editing the video and I was like, why did we do like just regular, what were we doing with the breeding? Also, I noticed something last time. Okay, I thought that there was some sort of weird shape around this one when I was in the editing, but I guess there isn't. Like some sort of like, this thing here was highlighted for some reason. And it very clearly isn't, and I guess I imagined that. But just know that once these queens have done their business, we will go ahead and get back to breeding as was instructed to us to do in the book. And at that point, we should start getting a little bit closer to what we're actually after. I'm just waiting on this to get done so I can toss those in there. What else do I need to do? I was also going to go ahead, and because we have a lot more impregnated sticks, I thought we could maybe take this opportunity. You know what? It's not worth the effort to pull out the other backpack and then pull out the Philosopher's Stone. I'll just fly up here. I'll get the string. It's all in caps for reasons I could not explain to you. And we will make a few more of these because I noticed that not all of those were loaded up there. So we'll just grab as many of those as we can muster. We're gonna have some leftover impregnated sticks, and that's fine. We'll probably use them for something else in the future. What are the uses? We could make a tile worker. It creates patterned ceramic tiles. That's actually interesting. And a proven gear, which can, of course, as you know, be used in the construction of a woodworker, or a panel worker, or probably any other number of similar things from a mod that I don't know if we're going to get into, if I'm quite honest with you. Remember, all of this bee nonsense is unnecessary. We don't need fancy bees. We just need to breed trees. And even then, we kind of don't really need to breed trees because we can just go buy whatever unique trees we want off that guy. Okay, so there we go. We got a forest princess and a forest drone. And now we've got that stocked up. Was this one full? This one was full. So it was really just that one that needed some. Well, that's fine. We've got some leftovers, and they do tend to go down over time, as we've noticed. They don't have infinite durability, so it'll be good to have some backups. So let's figure out what the deal is with this here pristine forest whatchamacallit. Well, I mean, should we toss her in the analyzer? One thing I was wondering is if I run the princess through this analyzer, and then we put it inside of the portable analyzer, and I know there's not really any reason to do this, but will it show us all of the extra information without consuming any additional honey? Because remember, this gives us way more information when we run it through the portable analyzer than we get out of here. So now we want to pair her with a Meadows drone. And we have to pick the right one, because we've got a few different options here, and I don't know if any of them are better than any of the others. And they might... here's the thing. We know that these are going to be pretty bog standard. Actually, we already know that these have shorter life, lowest worker. Yeah, get out of here, slowest worker even. We can at least test these other two. But what I'm waiting to find out, because remember, all this is going to give us is this information here. Which actually looks like most of the information, okay? 1 generation captivity, shorter life, slowest worker. Normal, up 1, I don't know what that means. Normal, none, flower... diurnal, nocturnal, tolerant flyer. Tolerant flyer is a great trait to have, but if I open this up and we put her in there, right? Yeah, okay, it doesn't take any honey, and it will give us the additional information. So if we wanted to use this to queue up several different bees and then not think about it. Although, it's instantaneous in here. We could just do it instantaneously, as opposed to waiting. But I guess this is good for automation. Maybe if you have some sort of advanced bee automation setup situation where... Yeah, I don't know. Your bees are automatically being extracted and then analyzed and then dumped in a chest for you to come inspect later. But even then, if you have to put them in here to find out the rest of their information, like, you're not getting whatever this is out of that. Or whatever this is. Or whatever this is. So let's see. Tolerance, up 1. So that's what the +1 means. Humidity levels are normal. Nocturnal, tolerant flyer, diurnal, cave dwelling. Does diurnal mean daytime worker? And if is diurnal the opposite of nocturnal? Because diurnal kind of sounds like day. I know, I'm a grown man, I should just know these things, but diurnal never came up. Nocturnal came up plenty of times. No one ever mentioned diurnal of or during the day. Yeah, well, at least we sussed it out ourselves. We used logic and reasoning to determine the truth. So that's good. That's a worker that works day and night, which is an improvement over some of the other ones that only work at night. So that's a great trait to have. That's 24-hour bee action. And then out of these two, let's see what we've got. Who do we want to breed it with? So if we pop that in there, it's got some inactive ender traits. I don't know if that really helps us at all in any way. It does have that 1 up to tolerance. All right, a pretty good choice. What about you, though? What have you got? You are shorter, slowest. These are, again, the active ones. I don't know how the inactive traits play into things. It's up 1. It's diurnal. It's not nocturnal. This one... likewise, is diurnal and nocturnal. So this one's better. We've figured it out. We've sussed it out here. This one is okay. So we probably want to get rid of that one. I'm not saying, like, get rid of it, like a sort of situation, not a, like, pluck out the stinger and pull off the wings sort of a thing. But we probably do want to go ahead and breed these two, because both of these have a couple of useful benefits to them. They're both diurnal and nocturnal, so they're day and night workers. They both have +1 up to, flying tolerance. This could give us a very interesting sort of queen. Maybe. Okay, pristine forest queen. It's not what we were looking for, but she's got all the stuff. She's got all the highlights. Good gosh, if she's not just extraordinarily hostile towards me. Does not like me at all. See, this one's done, so now we can do sort of the same situation there, but in reverse. And this one's done as well. So let's once more head underground, and this time we are going to use our pocket analyzer, because it is just faster. Although, I'll tell you what, because I'm less interested in these three, we'll toss them in there, and we'll just get those when they're done. But we should have some honey drops that we can use here, as well as some less useful things. Beeswax, useful if we want to build the big beehive, or whatever it was called. Honey drop, necessary, don't know why I threw it in there. Toss that there. Hold on, everything's getting a little bit chaotic. Pulsating, not at all useful. Alright, you. I'm fueling you up. Tell me about these two. Tell me about this one. See, nothing great going on here. Nothing fantastic in terms of the active. All of this we like to see. All of this we like to see. That's all good. You're good. What are you? What is your situation? You are... Oh! Ooh! Hold on. What was the fertility of this one? So this one's got double fertility. How curious. How very curious. Not nocturnal. No, not nocturnal. So we might want to find one that is nocturnal and breed it with that one, and maybe we'll get, like, its offspring will be nocturnal. Possibly is how that will work. I don't know. This one was nocturnal. Good. And a tolerant flyer. Great. But I also noticed that flower type is end. Did any of the other ones have that and I just didn't notice? This one's flowers. I don't remember what the other two had, and I wasn't really checking. This will have to go into the end hive then, because it's the only one with end flowers nearby. See, well, we are learning so very much here, and that is good to know. But you need to be paired up with, or no, rather, you need to be paired up with one that has sort of nocturnal, and then maybe its offspring will also be nocturnal. So, are any of you nocturnal? Of the available ones here, possibly, we just don't know yet. I noticed that the Sinister drone is, but... Oh, you know what? We could probably check these here, and one of them might be. Let's see what we've got. Let's check this one first. So, diurnal and nocturnal, good. +1 to flying. This would be a good pair for that one. Is it better than this one? Yeah, because this one is... Ooh. Higher fertility in the active flower type. hold on, wait, what was your fertility? Yeah, your fertility is lower. I think it's more important that this one's offspring, though, be nocturnal. So I say we're going to pair those two together. And then you were flowers. You're also flowers. You are not flowers. You are end. But maybe your offspring can be flowers if we combine it with a flowers one, who also has pretty good fertility. And are you nocturnal? You are. These are our pairings, then. This is what we'll go with. And I'm actually going to pay very close attention this time and to make absolutely certain that I am putting them where they need to be. So first off, right over here, we're going to just go ahead and do this one right out the gate. You are a tolerant flyer and you like flyer. Okay, you got to get out of there. Because you like flowers. You're in the wrong hive, okay? You, on the other hand, you love this end nonsense. And you're going to mate with this one here. And we're going to, you know, see what becomes of this here Meadow Princess. Hopefully, she produces something interesting. I don't think we're going to get a common queen until this dies and we get the princess, I think is how that works. You were pretty good with flowers, but I feel like we do just have this queen here that we probably need to put back out. But I'm really curious to see where this pairing goes. You know what? We'll put this queen back in here. Yeah, she's just going to continue where she left off, being a hostile little... You have nothing. That sounded so aggressive. You have nothing! You are nothing! That's not what I meant. That's not how I meant it. We're gonna go see if we can find some more unique trees. Something else I want to do. Actually, you know what? No, we're not. Here's what we're gonna do with this hive. Alright, right now its two closest trees are lovely, but also not at all what we want. So we're gonna cut both of these down. Lovely trees. Again, absolutely beautiful. I would love to not be attacked right now, but I don't know if I can do anything about it without building some sort of, like, bee outfit. What I want to do is we're going to pick a tree, and we're going to see if we can't figure out how to, like, which two trees... You know what, let's start with jungle. Let's say we have jungle sapling, okay? So we got jungle sapling here. What are the uses? Is there... that's farming, fermenting, carpenter... World transmutation? Okay. Fuel. I was trying to see whether or not it would give me a list of the sorts of things that it could be used to create, but I guess what we'll have to do instead is work our way backwards. So if we go to sapling, and we just pick something, I want to pick the most basic thing, right? Is it hard to get a balsam fir tree? Common elder, mundane lark. Okay, common elder. Silver birch, common beech. Silver birch. I guess we're never going to be able to figure out how to make one of those. Common beech, though, is apple oak. We have one of those. Silver birch, again, can't figure it out. So is it just not going to tell me how you go about getting some of these? Like a common yew is a mundane lark, which red spruce, we have one of those, and again, silver birch, or apple oak. So, theoretically, if I put an apple oak sapling and a red spruce sapling over here, alright, and we're going to tag both of those, we have a chance to get a mundane lark. That's an option for us if we wanted to pursue that, and it kind of seems like that might be our only option, because those are the only trees we've actually managed to get. So, I think you are the... Hold on, what did I say it needed to be? Red spruce? Yeah, you're the red spruce. So, will breaking the leaves of a regular tree using the proven... Are you restored? There's a repair talisman in here. I didn't even think about that working on a proven grafter. How about that? Are you gonna, like, give me the sapling? You are. A red spruce sapling. Okay, good. So we'll plant one of those over here. And then the other one that we needed, hopefully that's far enough to the side, although it does grow pretty wide. The other one we needed was the apple oak sapling, which I believe I planted right here. Yeah. So that'll hopefully be apple oak sapling. Lovely. We'll plant it. Does it need to be, like, right next to it? I wonder, like, does the distance between them matter? Let's get some bone meal. We might have to trim away some of those other trees there. I, again, refuse to look up anything about this. We were about to fly off and just try to buy some more saplings from the folks in the village there, but we're going to do this instead. So hold on. They are not going to be active if they cannot see the sky, I think. Yeah, no, they need the sky. They love the sky. The sky is very good for them. So there we go. Straight shot to the sky. They're back to stinging me, because at the end of the day, they do hate that I exist. And, ooh, look at that beech wood. I bet you that looks good. Red spruce sapling. Wait a minute. Isn't that what I planted here? Where did I get a second one? Why do I have two? Oh, I guess just now. Well, we can't condense those. We can condense all of this, though. Beech nut. That's from that song. The country boy can survive. He wants to spit some beech nut in that dude's eye, and well, good song. Let's have a look at this. I like that. I like it. It's got an interesting color to it. I might like that better than what we've currently got. It's certainly a little bit brighter. I think this has good vibes. I would use this in building for sure. So there you go. And we made this one ourselves. This is not one of the ones that we purchased. So now we're just waiting on something interesting to happen here, I guess. More honeycomb. We're not going to spend a whole lot more time out here, other than to say, look at what we have wrought. We are getting way more honeycomb these days, which is good. I think it's because of all those little things that we stuck inside there, sort of increasing that. Can we not get down here? Goodness gracious me. Toss all that in there and have it processing again. And then let's go ahead and figure out a pair for this one. What is y'all situation? Not great. Not a great pristine forest princess. Although it does have a slight bump up to tolerance, and it is nocturnal, and it's dual daylight, if you will. Okay, this has got... Okay, well, we're going to breed these two together is what we're going to do. Did they come out of the same hive just now? I don't think so. I think they came from two different places. That's good. Oh, not you, sorry. Yeah, look, another honeycomb. See, it's working so well right now. This is great. We're going to have so much honeycomb. What did we get? Forest Queen? Again, I don't know if we're going to get anything into, like, a common queen. I think we'll end up with a common princess after the queen's done her time, as it were. But also, if we throw this back in here with the repair talisman, we should be able to, yeah, literally watch it get repaired. Awesome. Well, I guess we will not be making our way over... There's bees above the ceiling. We're not going to be making our way over to deal with any traders today, because now it is time to set aside all of our buzzy nonsense and focus instead on building some speed upgrades. Specifically, I'd be interested in getting the squeezer running a lot faster, and then also adding like an intermediary pipe, like a storage container, to store a lot of this seed oil. Maybe we don't need to do that. I'm not sure. We'll have to wait and see whether or not we need excess amounts of seed oil. I'm kind of thinking ahead to when we move a lot of that automation to one of the floors of the factory over here and just create like a ton of everything. I think that could be a really good time. But for right now, let's go ahead and focus on getting rid of that and then focus on these. So I guess we'll start with the soldering iron, because it kind of seems like that's one of the more important things we're going to need here in order to make any of this happen. Based on the reading we did in the previous episode, kind of seems like that's all very necessary. And that was going to be made out of iron and bronze. So just like every real-life soldering iron, in case you've never seen one before, made of just those two materials. And that's it. That's a real thing that I'm saying right now. I'm not being funny. That's... I might be being a little bit funny. And when I say funny, I don't mean funny ha-ha. Did I get the recipe wrong? You're bronze, you're iron. It's correct. What do you need? Do you need water? You need water. I'm assuming 2 buckets. It probably said how many buckets. The last thing we built in here needed 2 buckets. We're adding 2 buckets. We're going to see what happens. There we go. So with the soldering iron getting created, now we need the intricate circuit board, which is going to actually hold everything. So that'll be redstone, gold, and more water. And then I think that while we have this open and we're going through here, these are pretty similar recipes, aren't they? Whoa, now wait a minute. Hold on now. What am I looking at? Wait, hold on. Oh, I need a Thermionic Fabricator. Is that so? Okay, let's figure that out then. What was it? Hold on, I've completely forgotten what it said. What are you called? Therm. There it is. Yeah, I didn't figure there could be many things with that recipe. That'll be very straightforward. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and grab the soldering iron. Is there a way to quickly clear this out besides just left clicking? It doesn't appear like there is. We'll get this queued up to go. There we go. And I think it said 1 thing of water. Was I wrong? No. Yeah, there it goes. Cool. We'll leave that going. And we will fly over here at apparently 15 frames a second to start work on this new tool that we're going to need. It's going to be 4 gold, a Christmas present, or a chest, a bit of glass, and a sturdy casing, which we have plenty of. Just toss all that in there, pull in the recipe. I'm sorry, what? I have a chest. Oh. I did just grab the first chest I saw. And that happened to be the dirt chest, which is never what you want and not what you need. And is also basically useless. So there we are. We have plenty of places to plug this in. Hopefully it works with the same power. I'm assuming it would. It would be insane if it didn't. So you should be getting plenty of juice. No recipe. That's fine. Didn't anticipate. There we go. And then now we need to grab, looks like a bit more gold and redstone, and then a bit more redstone and, ooh, okay, blaze powder. Absolutely. But wait a minute. Hold on. I just noticed a wild card over here. We need liquid glass, sand. Is the sand used to make the liquid glass? Is it an either-or situation? I don't know. It looks like you can't make it in a squeezer or inside of a bottler. It looks like you have to start with liquid glass in both of these instances in order to end up, yeah, maybe. Yeah, it kind of just goes around in circles. So perhaps it's just a case of getting some sand and getting some redstone. We're going to just grab stacks of this stuff, getting some gold. We don't need stacks of it, but, and then some blaze powder. It doesn't hurt to just, you know, go all out here. So if we put all of that in there minus that, do I just put that up there and then maybe something happens? Is it, are you going to make liquid glass? Something tells me no, because that would be too easy. So everything is in there. Okay, no, this is happening. Interesting. Missing liquid resource. More liquid resources needed to be supplied for operation. And yet it's going. So I wonder if it is the case that this over here indicates that it is currently cooking up the sand. I think we should probably make a second one of these, because it looks like this is going to take a while. And if it is in fact working, I'd like it to go ahead and, because we're going to make 2 of both of these. It's going to be a hot minute, I think. So we'll just get another one of those. It's a good thing we made so many sturdy casings. They've really come in handy. Wow! I got so turned around just then. My goodness. No explanation for that. I just felt a little dizzy. So we'll take that, and then we will take about half of everything in here, except for the gold. We'll leave the gold because the gold will only get used here. Oh, did it work? I guess it did. We have plenty of liquid glass now, and we've got 4 golden electron tubes. So it looks like that's just going to keep going, possibly. That's good. We'll make the blazing ones over here now. We'll just kind of throw everything in here that we need for it, and that'll start operation. We might, I don't know how many machines, like it looks like really only the squeezers can use these? Unless the slot is just different looking in the carpenter, I don't know if you can put one there. You can tell it goes here because it's colored such, and it even says empty socket when you hover over it. But you don't really get that inside of this inventory. No inventory space? Empty the machine's inventory. Oh, my bad. Sorry. I didn't mean to upset you there. But we've got our 4 golden electron tubes, and then right over here, I wonder if it reaches that middle point, whether or not that's when the liquid glass is made. That would explain why there's that little middle point there. Possibly. Yeah, okay, so that's full now. And then we also immediately got this. I wonder if we need to be concerned. If when that reaches, like, maximum, is it going to blow up or something? Is this adjustable? No, it kind of looks like a dial is the reason I asked. I'm sure it'll all be fine. Now we just got to figure out how to attach these. Oh, there we go. Okay. Put that there. Fits 4 electron tubes. Amount of tubes does not match the size of the circuit board. Well, that's because there's none in there yet, okay? Should we take that out and, like, go through these? Hold on, what is that? Electrical engine, stimulator, machine upgrade. That's what we want to do. So we want one of those. And then remember what we arrived on was that we would do 2 of each of these. The idea being that this increases... hold on, wait. Is the golden electrode tube not the one we wanted? An electrical socketed machine... Oh, socketed machines, there it goes. Decreases power use by 10%. We want that because one of these increases speed by 25%, but also increases power use. It doesn't matter that it increases power use. We have infinite power, but our thinking was if we combined the 2 of these and the 2 of these, we could get 50% speed increase, depending on whether or not it stacks or if it goes back against the original, is the best way I can think of to describe that off the top of my head. Like, is it 25 and then another 25% on the original 100 for a 50% speed increase? Or is it 25 and then another 25 on the 125 you've already got? I don't know. But then you could negate the effects of the power use by using 2 of these to kind of offset them. Something else we could do, though, now that I'm looking at it, is since power is not an issue for us, we could just put 4 of these on there and double the speed of each machine. We could do that. There's nothing stopping us from doing that. Let's go with our original plan, though, just for right now. And there we go. So that's done. It immediately moved it down here. And we can just go ahead and, I guess, plug it in and see what happens. So you kind of get a look there at the speed of that thing. And when we toss this in... Okay, when we drop this in... I mean, that doesn't really look any faster. Visibly, it looks the same. But maybe if we come over here, right, to the... Here, right, let's get some honey, okay? And let's put just like a drop of honey in this one. Okay, that's your standard speed, and yeah, that is quite slow compared to this. This is noticeably a bit faster. But now I kind of want to test the wacky plan of... Oh, okay, right? I see, it only holds 4 at a time, so you can't really have an infinite number of them being generated. That means I have to, like, have maybe something that manually extracts these for me if I want to automate it, which we have so many things that can do that. I don't know why I said it like it was like, oh, I don't know about this, folks. I'm not too sure. Make me another one of these, please. What do you need? More gold and redstone? Yeah, absolutely. I'll get you some more of both of those. Gold, redstone... What do you want? Do you want some more water? We're going to make at least 2 more of these because I'm having quite a good time with the experimentation here. So, meanwhile, I think I just accidentally placed down some, or it just did the sound effect. That was odd. I wish you could put them in here, but it doesn't look like you can. It looks like that is for emptying things into here. That is the output, and that is for maybe sometimes you need to put the thing up there to make the thing. There's no way, apparently, to speed up a carpenter, which is why... I guess we just need lots of them. This is interesting. This is interesting. Okay, so we've got our new one, and we are once again going to use the soldering iron, so right-click, and we're going to make sure we set this thing... Wait a minute, hold on. Did we forget to do that on this one? Socketed circuit board, socketed machines. Yeah, no, I guess it's fine. I guess it's fine. I don't guess it matters. But I'm pretty sure what we want to do is tell this thing, hey... Electrical simulator, machine upgrade. Machine upgrade is what we want, and then we want to put in not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 of those. Once you put that 4th one in there, it just goes. There's no coming back from it. So that's going to be a doubling of the speed, okay? So if we take this one out, which you can do with this, apparently. Ooh, but that damaged it. But the question is, if I put it up here, is it going to be... Oh, dear. I guess we know where he gets his laugh from now, don't we? Goodness gracious. Okay, this is the one with all the speed boosts. Take a look at the regular vanilla speed. Now look at ludicrous speed. It is faster. It's twice as fast. Boy, it doesn't feel like it's making that big of an impact, does it? It is, I guess, going to fill this up now. I don't know. We'll put this other one in here. It only works in squeezers! That's upsetting! We'll make one more for this one, too. Here's my thinking, right? If this one is automated and therefore always running, like constantly until this is full, we probably don't want it to go at full speed. We probably would rather have this one in there, and because it's going to use less power overall, and therefore it's not going to like drain all of our power. Meanwhile, things like, we're just waiting on that to charge back up, things like this, which are only used for like in bursty operations, that can go full bore. I don't mind. I don't mind, you don't mind. And in fact, that's my position here with this one too. Okay, so we're going to set this one to machine upgrade, and then, you know what, if we've got a whole lot of honey that we need to process, to heck with speed consumption, we want that done really quickly. So this one here is also going to get the ludicrous speed upgrade. And then the rest of these, Heavens, do we put them in the chest with the bee stuff? That almost feels wrong, and like we shouldn't do that. We should probably put it all over here inside of this chest. So we have all of our speed upgrades, and it looks like a pipette. I almost called it one, knowing full well that isn't what that is. It is not a pipette. I can confirm. So let's load up all of these honey drops that we've got inside of here, and let's go check on our bees one more time. Remember, I don't care about the bees. I really don't, and we didn't start all this to get into bees. This wasn't my intention. I just wanted to make cool-looking trees. We wanted to get to purple heartwood trees at some point, and instead I ended up doing bees. I don't know how this happened. I feel like I got tricked, but these are decisions I made myself. I've played myself. Which is just sad. But how are we doing with the bees? Okay. Couple of regular old bees. Couple of bog standard old bees. Lots of honeycomb, though. And then what about you? Once more, bog standard bees. Let's figure these out. Lots of honeycomb. We're getting somewhere with the honeycomb, finally. You're going to take a while. That's good. I actually prefer that. Don't have to think about it as much. Well, we've got 6 drops of honey. We have 6 bees. So let's see what our situation is. What have we ended up with? Okay, good. Yep. A lot more in terms of the fertility is at 2. It likes flowers. It has ends effects. Whatever that means. It's only diurnal, so that's not great. But there's you. If we pair you with your own offspring, are you going to get... No, not diurnal. To put you over there. What about you? What are you? What's your story? Also not diurnal. Get out of here. What about you? Okay, yeah, diurnal. Good. This one's good. These two are bad. Not diurnal. I think we ended up with fewer diurnal bees than we started with, which makes me wonder how inactive works, and whether or not it plays a bigger role than I thought. But I tell you what we're going to do. We're just going to put these back in here in more or less the exact same way they were. So, you know, meadows with the forest. Wait, well, hold on. I forgot to check. Were all of these flowers? Forest with the meadows. Oh, wait, no, that's a common princess! We got a common princess! I didn't even realize it! We've got a common queen who likes flowers, is a decent flyer, you know? That's wonderful. We've got a common queen at long last. You like flowers? Or, hopefully you don't like the end. Oh, thank goodness. That is wonderful. We actually managed to get a common queen. It sounds like a ridiculous thing to be excited about, but gee golly, I am. I'm very excited about it. You got any honey for me? You did not disappoint me. Thank you, Forest Stock. Now that does it for today. Remember, we're trying to breed trees. That's the only reason we're breeding bees. We don't care about the bees. We just want the fancy trees. And hopefully, you know, this is going to help us get there at some point. And that common queen might be the first step towards getting some really interesting, unique bees. But for right now, we're not worrying too much about them. What we're going to do now is discuss some real-life things. So thank you folks for watching if you don't want to stick around for that. But it's behind-the-scenes time, so let's get behind the scenes, folks. First things first, I want to talk about the lights. Hopefully it's a little bit better, but in the last video they were way too bright, and in this one they might be way too dark. And that's because, like I mentioned previously, I have to sync up the brightness of these with the shutter speed on my camera, which really limits the amount of options I have for how bright or how dim they are, because I have to go in these big steps, and then my camera, you know, I can only do so much. I can adjust the shutter speed, but it is in big leaps, and I can adjust other things, but hopefully this is a little bit better. I know it's not ideal, but I did get that PWM switch purchased, or the PWM dimmer, to replace the dimmer it came with. I'm stuck right now with like a little remote that only lets me change the brightness in pretty big jumps, and once I have that PWM, I can do nice, smooth adjustments, and no matter where it's at, it won't be flashing because of how pulse width modulation works. I also noticed that because of the way I built the ring of light, it creates quite a harsh shadow on my face under my hat, which we didn't have before because the two lights I had were both kind of like here, just out of shot, beaming directly onto my face. Now, I had hoped we wouldn't have that problem with the ring because there's light coming in from the sides, but the light at the top just does such a good job, producing a shadow, and these lights just aren't close enough, I guess. And I might be able to change that by squeezing them, but I don't know. The purpose of the ring light was to help more evenly illuminate me and also my background, to sort of help make the green screen effect look better. I know it looked okay in the videos, but I wanted to make it look better on the live streams too, and the only way to do that was to just get more light on the situation. And it hasn't really worked the way I had wanted. I mean, the green screen on the live stream does look a lot better. You can no longer see the outlines of my shirt, like wrinkles and things, so that's worked out. But the shadow on my face isn't good. Now, I did have a bit of LED left over that I thought about trying to affix somewhere directly in front of me. So we'll still have the ring light for illuminating the backdrop and my clothes and getting more even lighting on everything, but also we'll have a light just going on my face like there used to be. And it should be pretty simple because they're just white LEDs. There's only a positive and a negative to worry about wiring in. And while I've never soldered anything before in my life, I might be able to solder a couple of wires to this and then put it maybe like in front of me over here or something. I know right now you can see it literally on the camera, but not on the camera. It won't be like, not that dumb, but kind of like maybe somewhere around in here. I might want to add a second dimmer to that though, so that I can independently make it, or maybe something that makes it a little bit dimmer than these lights, because staring directly at those, that's not too bad actually. That's not, but I've got to figure this out. These are cool. This is called like FCOB, I think. So instead of individual LEDs, all the LEDs are behind this thin ramen strip. It's what it looks like. It looks like a ramen noodle. So it does a lot of diffusing by itself, so you don't get super harsh lights. You can't actually even see, if you look directly at the LEDs, which I don't advise because they're rather bright, you can't see the individual LEDs. They're very clean. So figure out how to mount this somewhere, maybe below, maybe even on the bottom of the monitor. Once I have it wired in and can actually see the light and the effect it has, I'll be able to figure out a better place to put it. But just somewhere where it gets more light directly onto my face, because when you do that, you can see it gets rid of that harsh shadow that obscures my face. So I'm going to get that fixed, but I have to go buy or borrow a soldering iron, practice soldering. They might have some kind of like pre-made clip situation you can get, but I'd rather learn how to solder because I think it'd be useful to have for other projects. I'll get that soldered and mounted somewhere, and we'll go from there. I have to figure out orientation. Oh, I guess I just match number to number. That's what you do there. Yeah. Okay, no, I figured it out already. I figured out what the positive and negative are. Oh, it even says positive and negative on it. All right. Figured it out. The other thing I wanted to talk about, and I kind of teased this at the beginning, I did real life Tekkit. I said I hadn't taken a shower yet. That's because there's no hot water. Folks, I'm going to show you something. What do you reckon this is? What do you think that is? That is a heating element from inside of a water heater. Mine, it's not supposed to look like this. So the other day, I came home and there was no hot water. And I went and looked at the water heater, and the water heater looked okay. So I checked the panel, and the breaker was flipped. I was like, uh-oh. So I flipped it back on. Nothing happened. The water heated up. I took a shower, no worries. Well, it kept flipping the breaker. And then yesterday, there was a tiny little leak. Now, nobody panic. Nothing got flooded. When I say there was a tiny little leak, I do genuinely mean I went to check the... I noticed the breaker was on, but there was no hot water. And I was like, that's weird. And I went out, and there was a tiny leak coming out of the water heater. A tiny little leak just like dribbling down the side near the lower... If you've ever seen a water heater, there's two panels, the top one and the bottom one. Both of those house a thermostat as well as a heating element behind them. So the lower thermostat kind of housing was leaking. And I said, uh-oh. So I turned off the power. I plugged in a hose and did all the rigmarole of draining the water tank. And then I was like, you know what? Looking at where the water was coming from after I pulled off the panels covering up the elements and everything, I realized it was leaking out around this. And I thought, I betcha, because I'd also noticed that in the lead up to the heater failing, the water was getting really hot, like hotter than usual. And I thought, well, maybe a thermostat went bad and it melted the rubber along the base of this, and that's why it started leaking. I was just kind of spitballing, but I found that you could order a tune-up kit for your water heater that comes with two of these heating elements and two thermostats, because there's two thermostats and two elements, one at the top and one at the bottom. It's very interesting. Technology Connections has a great video about how water heaters work. I think that's where I saw that from. But I kind of already had a bit of water heater knowledge from that video, and I thought, I can do this. So I bought that little upgrade kit, or the little tune-up kit, and I bought the socket you need to fit around this and break it loose. And yeah, I took the whole thing apart, and as soon as I pulled this out, I was like, oh yeah, that's probably what's wrong with it. The fact that it's literally cracked open, and the coil on the inside is leaking out, and it's covered in goo. That might be what's wrong. I sent a picture of this to my friend who said I might need to change out inside of the heater. There is a, what was it called? An anode. That's what it was. It was an anode. A sacrificial anode. That's what it's actually called. What a wild name. But it's literally a rod of metal that goes into the top of your water heater. And what it does, and the way that it works, is because your water heater is all made out of metal, it wants to corrode. It's always in a state of wanting to corrode, or rust, depending on what it's made out of. But corrosion tends to be what your water heater materials want to do. They want to corrode. And so the way you prevent that is by putting the sacrificial anode, which is just a rod of metal, and there's various different ones you can get. But it corrodes instead. It corrodes over time, sacrifices itself up, so the rest of your tank does not. And you're supposed to replace them. It depends on the model and how often it's used and a lot of other factors, but you're supposed to replace them about every 4 years, is what the internet says. I've never replaced mine. I called and talked to my dad. He didn't even know it was a thing. The only reason I know about the sacrificial anode is because I sent a picture of this to my friend Trace, who said, you probably want to replace your anode. And I said, what? So I looked up some videos, and it's not hard. You just, once again, they recommend draining the tank. I think turning off the water supply and draining it out a little bit might be necessary, but because it's at the top, as long as there's not pressure, I might follow the instructions for this one. Turn off the breaker and do the whole 9 yards. But I'm going to get one of those, and that'll be tomorrow's project, because today's project was replacing both of these and both of the heating element. Sorry, both of the, this is a heating element. Both heating elements and both thermostats. Got it turned back on. I have hot water cooking right now. I've tested it already, and it's lukewarm. I didn't want to shower before the video because I wanted it to be hot. So now I can finally go, and for the first time in several days, take a not cold shower. People like cold showers. They say that they're bracing. They could be right. They could be crazy. It might just be a lunatic that you're looking for. I'm not one. I like warm showers. The cold showers, I'll tell you what, once you hyped yourself up for them and you got in there, after about a minute or two, your body adjusts to it, and it's like jumping in a cold pool. But I don't want to do it anymore. I want a hot shower at the end of the day. I'm finally going to be able to go have a hot shower now. But I do need to replace the anode, apparently, because clearly the anode is no longer sacrificing itself. This, I guess, is what took its place, and I don't want the new one to become like this quickly. So we're gonna go ahead and replace that as quick as we can. And I'm going to throw this thing away now, because who knows what's in this. I think it's just metal and things, but also at the same time, it could be highly dangerous, poisonous compounds or something like that. I don't know. I will definitely be washing my hands before I eat or drink or, like, lick my finger or anything like that. But that was some real-life Tekkit I did today. It felt like real-life Tekkit. I was like, okay, I'm going to pull off the heating elements, and I'm going to pull off the thermostats and replace those and screw in all the wires. And I had, like, my little voltmeter, and I was checking to make sure I had 240 volts, coming into the element. And then when I turned it all on, was 240 volts going into the thermostat and all that. I was like, oh, this is so cool. A sacrificial anode sounds like a thing you'd do in Tekkit. It was a great time. And I'm very, very, very grateful that I was raised by a father who taught me to fix things and not just buy new ones or replacements. Because, that's the first thing I think a lot of people would think of. Oh, my water heater's broken. I guess I have to go buy a new one. And they're not cheap. You can get cheap ones, but to get one of like a decent quality, we're looking at hundreds of dollars. And I was like, I don't have hundreds of dollars right now. This was $35 for a kit that had, both of the heating elements and both of the thermostats, and then there's probably going to be another 40 or so for a giant anode. But pound of prevention, ounce of cure. Wait, other way around. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. That's true, and I'd rather spend, $60, $70 now to keep the heater I've got going for another few years than buy one. So, thank you, Dad, for teaching me from a young age how to fix things, how to diagnose problems, and for never telling me not to try things, but always telling me not to electrocute myself. Dad, you're never going to watch this. I might send you this section of it. Thank you so much. You're an incredible man, Father Howdy Folk. Thank you so much for everything you've done and everything you've taught me. And I don't want to cry on camera, so I'm going to stop. Thank you folks for watching. God bless you. And I will see you later. Goodbye.